Welcome. I'm Kinetic Symphony. I hunt down and report on weird and true mysterious stories, from glitches to the paranormal. Case file number 1393, written by Mobius 1985, the night aliens invaded our Hawaiian retreat. In 2009, I went to a destination wedding in Hawaii. For the purpose of the story ahead, I was sober for 6 months at this time. I never did any hallucinogens. We stayed on Oahu on the North Shore, actually very close to the Banzai pipeline, and we had this really cool home rented that was a small airplane hangar converted into a house with all the amenities. We had an unobstructed view of the Hawaiian waters from the porch. On the first night, my dad, his girlfriend, and I watched the different colors of the sky as day turned into dusk. We hung out and had some food. They had a couple beers and I had my sodas. While it was still light out, I decided I was tired from traveling and went in to watch some TV. Not longer than 5 minutes pass and my dad and his girlfriend call for me to come back out to the rear porch. I walk out of the sliding glass door and see them standing and pointing towards the ocean. There was a small fishing boat out in the water, close enough to see what it was, but far enough to not really tell how big it was. It was still somewhat light out, and the sun had not completely gone down. I don't really remember what time it was. As I looked towards the boat, what we all saw, was what looked like a red flare holding steady in the sky. It was about as bright and the same color as a red stoplight, but slightly brighter. No pulsing, no movement, just stuck in the sky. It was too far and too still to be a flare, but we figured it was something from the boat. Then all of a sudden, the intensity of the red light grew, and from the light came 2 more lights in the shape of a triangle. It looked like the other 2 red lights morphed and rotated out from the first, and was now 3. Our jaws hit the floor. Again, this was still pretty far out on the coast, but slightly easy enough to see with the naked eye. Luckily enough, there were a pair of binoculars inside that I grabbed as I darted into and back out of the house. As I pulled the binoculars up to my face, the object disappeared right before my eyes. I thought to myself, "Are you freaking kidding me?" Then 2 seconds later, boom! It reappeared behind a cloud cover to our right, towards the Banzai pipeline. It absolutely lit the cloud up, so much so that it moved into now emitting a pulsing red light. I'm getting chills just thinking about it now. That same red color, as before, bloomed into the cloud and lit up the sky. I have never seen anything move like that in my life. The weirdest part was that there was no sound. 0. Anything that I know of that moves like that, from one place to another in our atmosphere, breaks the sound barrier, or you can at least hear the engines or propellers. I could hear the sound of the waves from the North Shore hitting the beach. Then it did it again. It disappeared again and moved to the cloud in front of us. This time it was more visible. I used the binocular to see what it was, and this part will be ingrained in my memory forever. A black, triangle-shaped object with 1 red glowing light on each corner of the craft. It sounds nuts, but we all saw this thing. What happened next was that it used the cloud cover to move away from us, heading out towards the ocean. I handed the binoculars to my dad so he could get a glimpse, and when he handed them back to me, I looked through them again to see that miles away I could still see the black triangle, this time with no red lights, essentially just leaving. But now there were more of them. I counted 5 of them. And they were, well, just leaving, as in heading up at an angle that I've never seen any craft move at a speed that should have generated some sort of sound. Especially with 5 of them now, leaving as if they were departing our atmosphere. And then they were gone. I dropped the binoculars. We were absolutely stunned. This whole encounter took place in less than 90 seconds. I know that there is a military base on the island and wonder if it was some sort of test aircraft. To this day, I still don't know what we saw. Sometimes we bring it up to each other, but never really tell anyone else about it. Who would believe it? This is still, by far, the most unexplainable thing that has ever happened to me. Case notes for file 1393. the night aliens invaded our Hawaiian retreat. So as exciting as aliens are, these days I'm more and more inclined to think that UFOs that we see are government experiments. I think aliens wouldn't ever be seen unless they wanted to be. That said, maybe this tech is reverse engineered from crashed alien aircraft. I think those pieces kind of fit well enough into reality. Could also be Project Bluebeam stuff where the government is faking alien aircraft, UFOs, meant to be seen or thought of as alien aircraft, but they're not real. They're just holographic projections, maybe drone swarms or something. If it is a real aircraft or a ship, that can't quite explain how this technology violates current laws of physics, though. Even if we built it ourselves, even if no aliens are involved at all, 100% on us, how can any aircraft travel faster than the speed of sound, and then there would be no sonic boom? That's the current mystery surrounding UFOs, and also the instantaneous acceleration. Not even if it's human or alien tech, but just how the technology itself can be so foreign and alien to us. If it is real, that's the only concerning thing. If it's just a trickery made to look like an alien aircraft, or just an experimental craft, but it's not, that would suck. But if it's real, then just knowing that you can violate the known laws of physics, which just means that we don't understand them fully, is quite exciting to me. Bonus file, written by Scorch215, The Black Mass That Haunted Our Road. This was back in high school. Live in a rural area where deer and elk are common. Was coming home from a school game night where we got to play video games on the school's TV with a friend who was driving. Was going to spend the night at his place due to it being around 2 a.m. We came around a corner and couldn't see the lines of the road ahead of us, as a black mass was blocking it. Yes, we were speeding, so when my friend slammed on his brakes, we hit the mass. There was no feeling of impact. Thinking we hit a deer or elk, we backed up a bit to see. After getting well past where we saw the mass, there was nothing anywhere. We got out with some flashlights and checked the sides of the roads. Nothing. We realized there was no impact or sound at that point, and the fact the mass blocked an entire 2-lane road with ease was frankly spooky. We booked it back to his truck, got in and nearly peeled out of there, locking every door in its place and basically not separating for several hours in case something else happened. Case notes for the bonus file. The Black Mass That Haunted Our Road. Visual echoes from other dimensions. Light can be emitted without anything being there that we can interact with directly, or rather in this case, the absence of light. This isn't even hard to fit into our currently known physics, with dark matter being this nebulous mass that has no interaction with physical matter or energy in this dimension. The only thing we know about it is that it has gravity. It has an effect on space-time itself, but that's it. Nothing else, apparently. So whatever you saw almost certainly exists, but nowhere that we have access to. So it wasn't a threat, it's just an anomaly in why you saw it. Now time for the quote of the day. To me, a lush carpet of pine needles or spongy grass is more welcome than the most luxurious Persian rug. Helen Keller. I'm actually wondering, did you guys go camping much during your childhood and teenage years? I did go quite a few times with my dad, and I think once with my grandparents, though not often. And it doesn't necessarily have to be camping. It could just be having a cabin in the woods and a lot of privacy and, of course, a backyard, extensive backyard, where there's trees and the cricket sounds and the smell of wood burning with your little fire pit. You don't have to be out in the wilderness, I guess, for that. But yeah, just laying on the ground on a cool evening night, it's precious. Now, is that more luxurious than a Persian rug? I don't know. I can see value in both, but I really understand where this quote is coming from. A return to nature, in many ways, would be good. Or at least a vacation into it. Like the video, subscribe, hit the bell. Kinetic Symphony signing off.